Hello and welcome to Business Wrap on this Monday evening. I'm Siddhant Sibal and let's begin the program with the top headlines. Petroleum Minister in a letter to the Prime Minister says RIL's KG-D6 contract cannot be terminated pending arbitration on the rationale for raising gas prices. Moli says even ONGC's cost of gas production was $3.66 per unit last year. SpiceJet sparks off third airfare war, slashes airfare by a whopping 75% as a part of its super summer sale. Markets end the session at their one-month high level. Sensex gains 111 points. NTPC tanks 11% on back of CERC order. And India and Canada signed 3 agreements to enhance cooperation in the field of biotechnology, audiovisual production and skill development. Visiting Governor General of Canada discusses bilateral issues with Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. Hello again to this edition of Business Wrap. Let's go first to the Dalal Street. Key benchmark indices extended gains and hit their fresh intraday high in late trade as European stocks erased earlier losses and moved higher. Pharma stocks gains on renewed buying. Dr. Reddy's Lab, Lupin, Cadila Healthcare and GlaxoSmithKline Pharma hit record highs. Sensex gained 111 points to end at 20,811, while NSE Nifty ended 31 points to end at 6,186. The BSE Sensex rose for a second straight session to end at its highest closing level in a month. The market breadth indicating the overall health of the market was positive. Gainers on the chart were Tata Power, BHEL, Axis Bank, L&T and Dr. Reddy's Lab, which were up by between 5 to 2%. Losers on the chart were NTPC, Bharti Airtel, Tata Steel, TCS and SSLT. NTPC was down 11%. NTPC tumbled to hit 52-week low on huge volumes after Central Electricity Regulatory Commission in its latest order directed power utilities to charge production incentives based on actual offtake. On to global market action. European stocks erased earlier losses and moved higher on Monday after data showed German business confidence brightened for a fourth straight month in February. Key benchmark indices in Germany and France were up by between 0.09% to 0.18%. In UK, the FTSE 100 fell 0.35%. On to the Asian stocks. Asian stocks edged lower on Monday amid speculation that reduced lending to the property industry will curb growth in the world's second largest economy after a China state-owned newspaper said that some Chinese bank curbed loans to property developers. Key benchmark indices in Japan, Indonesia, Taiwan, China, Hong Kong and South Korea fell by 0.19% to 1.75%. In Singapore, the Straits Times Index rose 0.19%. On to the big story of the day. A Petroleum Minister M. Virappa Moli has written to Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh saying Reliance Industries' contract for KG-D6 gas fields cannot be terminated pending arbitration on issue of output lagging targets. Explaining the reasons behind raising natural gas prices from April, Moli said several gas fields of both RIL and state-owned ONGC were economically unviable to produce at current rate of USD 4.2 per million British thermal unit. While the contracts provides for termination in case of a default by a contractor, the Oil Ministry under S. Jayapal Reddy in May 2012 had a slap penalty of $1.005 billion on Reliance for failing to produce natural gas in line with the pre-stated targets. Reliance disputed the order and initiated arbitration. In his letter to the Prime Minister, the minister said in view of the contractual provisions under the production sharing contract, the government will not be able to terminate the contract on the account of shortfall in production as the matter is pending before the arbitral tribunal. His letter came in response to charges made by Arvind Kejriwal that the government was favouring Reliance by nearly doubling natural gas prices from April 1st, 2014. On to our next story. Rahul Gandhi, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi today said that UPA has done a lot for betterment of farmers. He was interacting with farmers in Galnor of Sonipat in Haryana. Rahul's interaction with farmers is part of Congress exercise to include views of various sections in its manifesto. Rahul Gandhi said that the government has taken several initiatives which will benefit farmer community in the longer run.
दिल्ली मुंबई, मुंबई चेन्नई, चेन्नई और दिल्ली कलकत्ता डेडिकेटेड रेल कॉरिडोर, डेडिकेटेड फ्रेट कॉरिडोर और मैन्युफैक्चरिंग कॉरिडोर। तो हमने एक मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के लिए रीढ़ की हड्डी नेटवर्क तैयार कर दिया और वहां अब बहुत सारे उद्योग, मैन्युफैक्चरिंग के उद्योग लगे और आपके बच्चों को चॉइस मिलेगी।
On to some news from the aviation sector. Low-cost carrier SpiceJet has yet again sparked off a fare war. For the third time this year, it has opened up a window for providing discounts on the base fare. As a part of Super Summer Sale launched on February 24th, that's today, the airline is offering 75% discount on base fare for tickets booked between April 1st to June 30th. The bookings have to be made by February 26th. Previously in January, the airline had opened similar to such windows for bookings made up to April 1st. Here's a special report.
It is indeed a great news for the air travelers. For the third time this year, SpiceJet has opened up a window for providing discounts on the base fare. It announced 75% discount on the base fares for domestic flights booked between February 24th and February 26th. This scheme, according to SpiceJet, is open for travel between April 1st and June 30th. However, this 75% discount is relative to last-minute fares. And according to the analysts and experts, other airlines would also follow this suit and announce similar schemes. Tatas, who are considered to be the pioneers in the Indian aviation industry, have declined an invitation from the Aviation Ministry to deliver the keynote address at the Indian Aviation Air Show to be held in Hyderabad next month. Aviation Secretary Ashok Lavasa had extended the invitation to Tata, but Ratan Tata, the former chairman of the Tata Group, has declined the invitation. According to the reports, Tata had cited prior commitments as the reason behind their declination. Indian Aviation Ministry is set to grant Dubai the additional flying rights of 10,000 seats a week. This is 20% more than the current capacity of 55,000 seats. Dubai-based airlines Emirates has for long been asking for more flying rights, and according to the Aviation Minister Ajit Singh, Dubai-based airlines had requested for an additional 20,000 seats, but they can get only half of it. This will be the second hike to Gulf carriers in a span of 1 year. Analysts believe that a favourable decision by the Indian government to hike seats capacity on Dubai routes will help reduce airfares marginally. Business Bureau, GD News.
So the aviation sector is buzzing again. Time for a short break, more after this small break.
मम्मा का बर्थडे गिफ्ट?
हाँ।
मुझे पता है मम्मा को क्या चाहिए।
अच्छा जी, बताओ।
12 बजेंगे तब बताऊंगा।
किरण, हैप्पी बर्थडे। हमारा घर।
हैप्पी बर्थडे मम्मा।
तुम्हें कैसे पता?
रोज बोलती थी ना, हमारा घर हमारा घर।
SBI होम लोन्स में हम भी पढ़ लेते हैं आपके मन की बात, इसलिए हमने इंटरेस्ट रेट्स किए हैं कम, खासकर महिलाओं के लिए। SBI होम लोन्स।
मम्मी, आप समझती क्यों नहीं हो? लोग घर से निकलते समय लाइट ऑफ करते हैं और मैं घर से कार। मेरे घर वालों को ये बात समझ आ जाए।
बिजली बचाइए, एक घर हम रोशन बनाएंगे।
Welcome back. India and Canada today signed 3 agreements to enhance cooperation in the fields of biotechnology, audiovisual production and skill development. In his meeting with Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh, the visiting Governor General of Canada discussed bilateral issues. The Canadian Governor General David Johnston also called on External Affairs Minister Salman Khurshid. David Johnston and his wife Sharon Johnston were today given ceremonial reception at the President's house. Speaking on this occasion, Canadian Governor General said that his visit is focused on education, innovation and cooperation to increase industrial growth between the two nations.
My visit is education, innovation, entrepreneurship. And it's wonderful to see two countries like Canada that have many similarities and many contrasts coming together to advance the interests of our people, particularly in and around their education, their innovation and entrepreneurship. So during the course of the visit, we hope to achieve a good many things in that respect and continue the momentum of this wonderful relationship between our two countries.
The visiting dignitary also visited Rajghat and paid tributes to the father of nation, Mahatma Gandhi. The goods and services tax would be a reality soon. The Central Board of Excise and Customs is working on the streamlining of the issues in excise and service tax related matters. Addressing tax officials on the occasion of Central Excise Day, Finance Secretary said that GST would be a game changer. The occasion also witnessed the Presidential Award presentation to the outstanding contribution of select tax officials.
Step to introduce GST in the country. It will happen soon, I'm sure, and everyone has been working towards it. Some of the streamlining of processes and procedures in service tax and excise was again mentioned by Chairperson, how we are aligning them in order to pave the way for GST. The GST, when it comes, will be a game changer.
On to some international news. The meeting of finance ministers and central bank governors of G20 nations has decided to work towards lifting their collective GDP by more than 2% over the next 5 years and exhorted the United States to go ahead with the IMF quota reforms. Meanwhile, Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has said that he is satisfied with the outcome of G20.
World top 20 nations have pledged to boost global growth over $2 trillion over 5 years and agreed to work on automatic tax information flow and IMF reforms. The communique issued after the G20 finance ministers and central bank governors meet also took into account concerns of emerging economies like India about the impact of US stimulus withdrawal by asking central banks to calibrate and clearly communicate monetary policies. The G20 ministerial joint statement committed a global response to base erosion and profit shifting based on sound tax policy principles. The G20 also expressed hope that it will implement the automatic tax exchange information among themselves by 2015. Facing challenges to get trans-border details on tax issues, India has been pressing for smooth exchange of financial information. Finance Minister P. Chidambaram has expressed satisfaction with the outcome of the G20 meeting. He said that India's concerns have been fully reflected in the G20 communique. Talking to news agency PTI, Chidambaram said that India's concerns with regard to US tapering and IMF quota reforms have been taken on board by the group. Chidambaram also emphasized the need to expedite the IMF quota reforms, which seeks to give greater say to emerging economies in the multilateral lending body. Applauding the G20 agenda for growth, IMF chief Christine Lagarde said the goal is attainable and called for more action to achieve robust, sustained global recovery. Referring to the G20 regret on delay in IMF reforms, she said the agency shared this view and urged rapid progress on implementation.
Interestingly enough, and thanks to the good cooperation that was induced by this meeting, we did not have that. We had a very solid, consistent exchange of views respect for each other's necessary policies, understanding of the spillover effects that one would have over others.
The G20 also expressed deep regret over delay in IMF quota reforms implementation as the US is yet to ratify it. Individual G20 plans for growth will be taken to the Leaders Summit in the Australian city of Brisbane in November. Bureau Report, DD News.
The G20 summit level talks will take place on 16th and 15th November 2014 in Brisbane, Australia itself. Time for another short break. More after this short break.
और किताबें सारी स्कूल देगा यूनिफॉर्म भी तुम्हारी स्कूल देगा स्कूल अब घर से दूर नहीं है हम हो गए फासले पहुंचोगे स्कूल के गेट पर तुम थोड़ा सा भी जो चले प्यार और नरमी से तुमको पढ़ाएंगे टीचर है ऐसे भले सच 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 प्रीत अब है यही स्कूल की कभी टीचर ना बच्चों को मारे सुनो घंटी बजी स्कूल की चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे लाइब्रेरी में जो पढ़ना हो स्कूल देगा दोपहर में खाना भी तो और स्कूल देगा पढ़ना भी है और है खेलना भी है दोनों बातें यहाँ ध्यान उनका भी पूरा रखा गया है ये जान ले लड़कियाँ वो जो पढ़ेंगी जो आगे बढ़ेंगी तो बदलेगा हिंदुस्तान घर 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 शिक्षा जब पहुँचेगी स्कूल की शक्ति पाएंगे निर्बल भी सारे सुनो घंटी बजी स्कूल की चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे चलो स्कूल तुमको पुकारे
शिक्षा मेरा अधिकार है।
Welcome back. We'll now go to Bihar where a PC is being addressed by RLD leaders over that split in the main opposition party RLD. in Bihar. Uh, it seems there's some technical problem, that's why we cannot go live to that PC being addressed by Abdul Bari Siddiqui. He is the RLD leader. Remember, there is a split in the main opposition RJD party in Bihar. Now on to another story. In Andhra Pradesh, celebrations broke out in Telangana region as Parliament approved the Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Bill, clearing way for creation of new Telangana state. People took to the streets in joy in Hyderabad and also over all other regions. But how will the economies of the region function? Here is a special report.
Telangana is just one step away from being formally declared as the 29th state of India. The Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Bill 2014, approved by the Rajya Sabha on Thursday amid protest, will be sent for the final approval of President Pranab Mukherjee. Post-bifurcation of Andhra Pradesh, the information technology and pharmaceuticals manufacturing sectors may become backbone of Telangana economy, leaving power production, ports and oil and natural gas to play a pivotal role in driving prosperity in the residuary state. With nearly 1,000 km long coastline, the coastal Andhra has major private ports such as Krishnapatnam, Kakinada and Gangavaram, besides state-owned Vizag port, and can continue to reap rich harvest by way of export and import of commodities such as iron ore and coal. But many say Rayalaseema region, part of residual Andhra Pradesh, the other part being coastal region, will be badly impacted in terms of revenue after the division. While Hyderabad city, which would be the joint capital of the two states...
We're cutting back to that big press conference being addressed by RJD leaders over that big split in Bihar. So that was a PC by the RJD leaders. Remember, 13 out of 22 RJD MLAs met at the residence of MLA Samrat Chaudhary and wrote to Vidhan Sabha Speaker pledging their support to the Nitish Kumar government. That's the big development coming from Bihar, and which of course will impact the national politics given the fact that this is the big election year. Time for the recap of the headlines. Petroleum Minister in a letter to the Prime Minister says RIL's KGD6 contract cannot be terminated pending arbitration on the rationale for raising gas prices. Moily says even ONGC's cost of gas production was $3.6 per unit last year. SpiceJet sparks off third fare war of the year, slashes airfares by a whopping 75% as a part of its super summer sale. Markets end the session at their one-month high levels. Sensex gains 111 points. NTPC tanks 11% on back of CERC order. And India and Canada signed 3 agreements to enhance cooperation in the fields of biotechnology, audiovisual production and skill development. Visiting Governor General of Canada discusses bilateral issues with Prime Minister Dr. Manmohan Singh. Well, that's all in this edition of Business Wrap. Thanks for watching. Namaskar.